Hello YouTube and people of the interwebs, welcome back to another Doctor Who video. Today I'm going to be discussing the Marvel-ification of Doctor Who. Now to start with, what do I actually mean by that? Well, unless you've been living under a rock, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has dominated media for the past couple of years. There's movies everywhere, there's Disney Plus exclusive TV shows everywhere, there's theme parks, there's every kind of media you want, all connected in one big Marvel universe. And it seems that Doctor Who is getting a very similar treatment. But does this spell disaster for the franchise? Is this a last-ditch, desperate attempt to claw back viewers? Will this Marvel-ification destroy this iconic show we know and love? I don't know. Join me in this video as I discuss this very topic and try to get to the bottom of Doctor Who's Marvel-ification. Okay, I'll stop using that word now. It's really fun to say. Well, where did this all begin? Back in 2021, former showrunner at the time, Russell T Davies had an interview with the Radio Times where he said this. Russell T Davies says Doctor Who should have a Marvel-style shared universe of spin-offs. He feels that Doctor Who should be just as ambitious as Hollywood's major franchises. Now, obviously, Russell is no stranger to writing and creating this sort of shared universe. He's even said himself, all the way back in 2007, he was in the middle of running an empire. And oh my god, I did it about 10 years too soon, didn't I? But he's right, because when you think about it, Marvel-ification of Doctor Who happened in 2007 and it was fine then. I mean, we had the Sarah Jane Adventures going, we had Torchwood going, we had the main show going, and over in Australia we had that weird K9 series which had nothing to do with it. Not canon, doesn't count. The only K9 and Company I class as canon is whatever the hell this is. Yikes, the 80s were a weird time. But if we focus on what we're talking about, Davies said back in this interview that there should be a Doctor Who channel, and look what's happened. You look at all these Disney announcements of all these new Star Wars and Marvel shows, you think we should be sitting here announcing the Nyssa Adventures, or the return of Donna Noble, and you should have a 10th and 11th Doctors together in a 10-part series, and he genuinely meant all of that. And I mean, we can already see parts of that initial want in his Doctor Who now. We've got Donna Noble back for 3 feature-length specials to celebrate the 60th anniversary, airing this November. I genuinely can't wait. And we've got our Doctor Who channel on iPlayer, the WHONIVERSE, which, yeah, if you live in the UK, you can go there right now and stream every Doctor Who thing ever. Almost every Doctor Who thing ever. There's a couple of bits missing, but I'm sure they'll be added in time. And then every other country outside of the UK has Doctor Who on the biggest streaming platform apart from Netflix, Disney Plus, which is also home to all these Marvel and Star Wars shows. And that's caused a great deal of concern for a lot of people because Disney have kind of ruined Marvel. I mean, even now there's all these discussions and talks about the state of that franchise. It's a shambles. Go back even 5 years and everyone I know loved Marvel. I loved Marvel. Everything was exciting, whereas now I haven't even caught up on the 2 latest episodes of Loki. I haven't caught up on half of the shows that they've released because there's so much stuff. And I'm just constantly left asking, who actually cares about all these Marvel shows? There's so much stuff, and that's a real shame because Marvel as a franchise has so much potential. It's so fun when they do it well, but they've oversaturated it. It's the same with Star Wars. I absolutely love Star Wars. Some of those movies are fantastic. And then you get The Mandalorian, where every single episode after series 1 is just boring. And then there's just boring nostalgia. They throw old Clone Wars characters at you going, remember this, remember this. Then they bring in CGI versions of other characters, which when you watch it for the first time, you go, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. And then it's kind of like eating a McDonald's. Like in the moment, it makes you really happy, but afterwards you feel violently ill. And understandably, a lot of people don't want that to happen to Doctor Who, including myself. Like, please don't let that happen to Doctor Who. But I don't think we have to worry, because as I've said, Russell has experience running this stuff. He's also Mr. TV. He knows everything. He is the most zeitgeisty man to ever zeitgeist. Russell has probably seen what Marvel have done and gone, I can do better, and I'm sure he can. Interesting little fact, Russell was actually asked to run one of these Disney Plus Marvel shows. We haven't had official confirmation of which one it was, but it's incredibly likely it was Secret Wars, and he turned it down. We also know he was vocally critical of what happened in Loki concerning bi-representation. So for all the people out there worried that Disney's censorship is going to get into Doctor Who, I don't think you've got anything to worry about. Sorry to interrupt the video. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel. It really helps me out a lot, allows me to keep it as my part-time job, and I can keep you guys updated on all things Doctor Who. Back to the video. Russell is incredibly good at what he does. He's not going to allow Disney to just not have any representation. I don't think we have to worry about it on that front, because we know that Disney Plus have little to no creative control. They give more money, and they can suggest things, but Russell has also been open in saying that everything Disney have suggested, he's actually liked, and it has helped him. It's improved stories and given grander scope to certain episodes. I also think it's important to remember that the WHONIVERSE stuff on iPlayer isn't just 101 spin-offs coming at you immediately. It's like a massive catalogue of all of Doctor Who's history in one place, which I think that's brilliant. And yes, spin-offs will happen. They are inevitable. See what I did there? A Thanos reference? That was a really weak reference. But yeah, Russell has openly said spin-offs are on the way. I mean, we've just had Tales of the TARDIS, which is kind of a spin-off, and it's also a very nostalgic spin-off, but without nosediving Doctor Who into the ground. It did it in a really clever way, where it sort of introduces new fans to the classic Doctors and the classic episodes. We also know that they're recolorizing the first Dalek serial and cutting it down to 95 minutes to make it a more appealing watch for a modern audience. Russell and his team are incredibly respectful of the past Doctor Who stuff. Russell's even said recently in an interview he doesn't want to oversaturate the WHONIVERSE. And while, yes, superficially, we do have the most Marvel-y little ident thing to ever Marvel, the show itself is in safe hands, I think. One minor concern that I have had before is Russell gonna do a George Lucas with the prequels? In that George Lucas originally was working under loads of pressure, loads of time constraints, and had a team of excellent people around him guiding his creative decisions in the original trilogy of Star Wars. But then he came back with the prequels and had full control. He was able to do whatever the hell he liked, and the public's reception to the prequels is far from ideal.
I don't like sand.
And then he ultimately ended up selling Disney Star Wars as a franchise. Now, Russell will definitely not sell Doctor Who to Disney fully. It's just not going to happen. He cares about public broadcasting so much. And he's even said one of the main reasons he came back was because the plan for Doctor Who was always to partner up with a streaming service, and he wanted to make sure that it had the smoothest transition possible. But if leaks about the ending of the 60th anniversary are to be believed, which I'm not going to spoil here, and don't go and spoil it for yourselves, it's really not worth it, then this new era is going to be quite controversial. David Tennant has even recently said in an interview that this is Russell T Davies Unleashed. Wild Blue Yonder is described as doing something Doctor Who's never ever done before. Is it going to stray too far from the Doctor Who we know and love? Are there going to be canon changes even bigger than the Timeless Child? Which, by the way, Russell's confirmed he's not retconning. He also very much cares about the stuff he makes. He is far more for quality over quantity. He understands the importance of quantity because having Doctor Who off air for years at a time only damages the show, and yeah, he's promised a consistent stream of episodes going to Disney Plus, going to BBC One, going to BBC iPlayer for the next couple of years. In fact, it's so well planned in advance already. They are already shooting next year's Christmas special and series. Before we've even seen the 60th anniversary, Shooty's first Christmas special, Shooty's first series, they're already shooting stuff for like 2025. Russell also talked at the recent Doctor Who concert about the fact that he's got 4 seasons in mind already. I reckon that'll be for Shooty. Who knows whether Russell will stay on after these 4 seasons? I mean, his original run was also 4 series, so maybe he'll dip after that. Hopefully he stays around a little longer, or maybe he'll move into a sort of Kevin Feige type position, where he oversees all of the WHONIVERSE without directly writing any of it. And I mean, it would be really lovely to see new writers crop up and write for the show, new directors, new team, but we know Russell's good, and hopefully after 4 seasons he's going to have solidified the show in the public's mind again, and it'll carry on forever. But yeah, despite Doctor Who seemingly being Marvel-ified, I think the show still has a very strong future. But we'll just have to wait and see. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if you did enjoy this video, please do remember to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me out a lot and allows me to keep this YouTube channel as my part-time job. Turn on the notification bell to make sure you don't miss out anything over the 60th anniversary of the show. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.